The Own Your Intuitive podcast is for the creatives, spiritual entrepreneurs, and light workers in the world. The shining ones who have been told to dim their light and stop believing in magic. I say screw that. The time to rise is now. To bring your gifts out into the world in a big way, creating a business that feeds your soul and your bank account. You are a magical being with the potential to change the world, one human at a time. The time for you to own your intuitive is now. Happy Transformation Tuesday, friends. I am so excited to be here with you. I have a big conversation to share with you guys because I think it's a really important one to have. Whether you're just launching into entrepreneurship, whether you've been in the industry for a while, even in your personal relationships, kind of a big deal. The question I want to answer today is kind of like 3 reasons why we would listen to people. And I'm saying this from like the great depth of listening to people my whole life who didn't know what I was doing, didn't have my best interests at heart, didn't understand the level in which I wanted to serve the world, or just really wanted to put their own victimhood or their circumstance and, really direct it at me or attack it at me. And I say attack and direct from a state of they didn't know they were doing it, but it comes across as they, in their insecurity, they push what they're thinking or feeling on you as if to blame you for something that they are experiencing. And generally, as if you're a highly sensitive person, an empath, or have any other gift, we tend to take what people are saying, even if it is a projection, quite personally. Like, it can hit us pretty hard. And so literally speaking from the realistic, oh my goodness, I take everything to heart. Everything sometimes feels really personal. My heart hurts at times. Like, how do we segregate? How do we choose what is valuable information and what isn't? And personally, one of my favorites, since, Brene Brown, who is like the queen of vulnerability, and, in her latest Netflix film, her documentary, she really, really laid it out. She laid it out and is like, if they're not in the arena with you, if they're not dirty and muddy and like really getting down in that grind with you, then they don't have a say. Because we spend most of our time convincing others of what we're doing or asking their permission. So we'll have an idea and say, what do you think about this? But the problem is they have no idea. They are not the 3 reasons that I'm going to list to you guys of why we should listen to people. And yet they throw their ideas at us and we contemplate them. We actually do. We're like, maybe this is a good idea. But the problem is, without having them kind of categorized into what I'm about to say, you're really taking advice from somebody who has no idea who you are, who you serve, and the impact that you want to make. So let's get down to the number 1 reason that you want to be listening to somebody. The first reason is because they are doing what you want to do. So they have already reached a level in their business, in their personal life, in any form, in any shape, or in any way that you can say, man, I want to mirror them. I want to accomplish what they have accomplished. And you can send them an email, you can send them a text, you can reach out to them on the phone, but you're like, I really just have some questions for you. How did you get here? What did you do? What would you recommend for me right now? This is a really important conversation. Of course, you're going to want to hear what they have to say. If they've accomplished something that you want to achieve, they have information that you don't have. And so opening yourself up to hear what it is, the steps that they took, the formula, the plan, that's a really positive way to, shift the needle and move yourself forward in a way, right? So we absolutely want to listen to people who have already achieved something that we want to achieve. So think about that, guys. Think about who you're asking right now in your life. Are they where you want to be? No? Then don't ask them. Period. That's how I feel. Number 2. So this is the second reason you would want to listen to somebody. They're your ideal client, customer, soul client, friend, client, however you want to describe them. But you really want to be polling your people. You want to be asking questions, getting them on the phone, learning what, is keeping them awake at night, learning, what their dream is, if they could describe it, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like. You really want to nurture and create this incredible bond with your ideal client. And so you 100% want to listen to anything that they are telling you. And so we've got somebody who has already achieved what it is that you aspire to, and you've got your ideal client. Those are two people you absolutely want to be listening to. Now I'm going to tell you the third. And again, I'm going to reiterate points throughout this beautiful podcast, as I want you to be kind of paying attention to moving forward after today, where you go to get your information, who you're asking if what you're doing is right. If they're not one of these three people, they don't know, friends. It's a really big deal to think about this. We have been taught to go to our parents and say, what do you think? And we ask Aunt Betty and Uncle Joe and our best friend from college. And we ask all these people, but they don't know us and what our desire and our dream is, or what lights us up, or what is our passion. And so they're really just telling you from their perspective what you think. It's do you remember if you've had any kids when you wanted to name your kid and you started to say the name to people and they're like, ugh, I wouldn't name my child that name. I knew somebody in grade 3 with that name and they were Dinks. And you're like, oh, well, that name used to be nice, right? This is no different. This is like your baby. This is like the thing that you're placing out into the world so that you can make it a better world. You know what I mean? So we've got to be conscious of who we're sharing this information, because we want to be sharing it with people who lift us up and rise us higher, who can hold the vision of our, beautiful future and what we want to achieve. And they can see it with us and they can aspire with us to achieve it. So we have people doing what we do, and they've just a little further down the line. Absolutely. I want to know how they got there. 2, ideal client. Boom. I want to know everything about you. You guys right now listening, seriously, send me a message. I would totally love to pick your brain. Anyone, email me, tamara@tamaraarnold.ca, and I will ask you a ton of questions, and I will want to hear every single answer. And number 3. The third person that you want to be listening to are the people that you pay money to listen to. Okay? So these are your mentors. These are your coaches. These are your masterminders. These are the people that you have aligned with energetically as a whole to say, help me, please. Help me. I remember when I launched my business in 2017 and it took off and people said, how did you do it so quickly? I'm going to share this secret with you guys. I'm going to drop it like it's hot. I did it that quickly because I listened to everything my mentor said. She said, do this. I said, okay. And then she said, do that. I said, okay. And then she said, do this. I said, okay. And then my business took off. It was that simple. It was that easy. We spend so much time resisting our mentors and our coaches and saying, oh, I'm not comfortable. It doesn't feel right, or whatever it is. But if we trusted the path that they were holding for us, or the vision they were holding for us, then that's a really powerful expansion. So these personally are the 3 people that I listen to when it comes to moving my business in the direction that it's meant to be going. So I don't even choose anymore. And I did the other day. So I hired a new coach recently, and I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? The purchase guilt, but it's not guilt because it's the expansion that you need. And I actually reached out to 2 people and almost were looking for the validation that what I did was the right thing, which never works. And I'm telling you this because I just told you when it did work, when I was listening to my mentor, calling up random friends and saying, oh my God, I just did this. What do you think? They're clearly not going to understand why you did it because they're not in your body. They're not connecting to your same community or tribe. And so it really doesn't matter what they think, because if it's a vibrational match for you and you know that it's the right decision, then it will always be the right decision. Anyway, it only took 2 people and I could actually read that they were just reflecting my fear back to me from the previous Own Your Intuitive Tuesday. You can go back and listen to that one, which is Mirror Mirror. And that's that mirroring. So I watched the mirror mirroring effect happen in live action. And I was like, oh, look at that. That would be my greatest fear. And look, I'm reading it from this text from my friend who I thought would be like, yeah, because she's like an entrepreneur like me. And she'd be like, yeah, I'm so excited for you. And instead, she was like, I'm going to play devil's advocate here and I'm going to drop this. And I was like, ooh, that's not actually what she feels or thinks. That's just me feeling and thinking that and my vibration coming back. So it was like, again, the awareness that, guys, we cannot listen to those, as Brene Brown said so eloquently, who are not in the arena with us, who are not doing the work that we are, who are not like waking up every day and thinking, okay, is today the day that this business is going to take off? Is it going to be, am I going to get some clients? Am I going to be able to pay my mortgage or my rent? That happens at the beginning of entrepreneurship before the consistency hits, right? And even for me, sometimes I have a slow month and a big month, and I'm still working to rectify that. But entrepreneurship is a non-negotiable for me. There is nothing that drives me more than transforming people's lives, right? And so at this point, I'm just going to do a refresher on the 3 people that you should choose to listen to. And none of them are family and friends. I'm just going to make that note right here. They are, going back to number 1, are they doing something that you want to achieve in your business or your life that you can ask questions about how they got there? Number 1. 2, are they your ideal client? Can they answer questions that support you stepping further into creating the language that's going to help them see that you're the one to solve the problem with them? It's a very important conversation to have. And 3, did you pay them money to listen to them? Are they your coach? Are they your mentor? Do they have your best interest? And are they holding that big vision for you and guiding you to achieve that without letting your limiting beliefs get in the way? Those are the 3 people that I choose to listen to because those are the people who know what I'm doing, what I'm creating, and the impact that I want to make. The rest of the people don't matter. Seems harsh, friends, but it's true. We cannot be taking what other people think about us or feel about our work personally at the level in which we want to create massive impact. We have to be able to cull out the noise, cull out the friendships, cull out the relationships that literally are going to tell us what we are doing is bad, insufficient, not good enough, not all the things that make us feel unworthy. We have to be willing to cut that out and listen to the people who actually are driving our energy, our missions, our passions to the next level. And again, I say this with the idea that I'm talking about business. I'm not talking about if you're having, a disagreement with your partner and you need somebody to talk to. I 100% think you should lean on the ones you love in that circumstance. But when it comes to your business, when it comes to your mission, when it comes to your Stardust and the impact that you want to make, then you need to really be conscious about where you're sending your words and the responses that you're getting and how they elevate you instead of destroy you and your ideas and your passion and all the things that you represent in your mission here. So that's it for today. I think that's kind of heavy, but maybe not. I think I would love to know what your thoughts are about this. So again, if you email me at tamara@tamaraarnold.ca, I will totally love to know what your thoughts and feelings were about this episode, or you can tag me on Instagram at Tamara Arnold Author and let me know your greatest takeaway and what you feel is the best way for you or who you listen to that maybe I didn't mention. But I think you're magical and I love you and I can't wait to drop it like it's hot this Friday for part 2 with Jesse Johnson.